Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome to our redo of yesterday. Peninsula Corridor in the F40. We are going to go in this baby bullet service from San Francisco to San Jose. So it's kind of like a limited stop sort of thing. Let's get in here, get our passengers on board, and make our way to San Jose, if you know the way. Hopefully everybody is doing well. Happy middle of the week to you. HEP on. So our passengers have lights. There we are, well-lit cabin, well-lit passenger area. Morning pithers. A strange spot for a passenger to be standing, since most of the time the passenger area is way back here. In fact, if I remember correctly, most of the time you have somebody kind of directing where the passengers go or are able to go on the platform area there. Our lights on. First stop is the wonderful 22nd Street station. So how are you, pithers? Hope you are well. I'm okay, thanks. Just kind of still waking up a little bit. Dragging myself out of bed this morning. We've got a red coming up because we probably have a train coming into San Francisco that needs to cross over where we're at, our track. So we are going to try to move up a little bit, and then we'll stop and just have a quick look here. Oh, now it just went green. Okay, there we go. So yeah, big news, I guess, in a way. The roadmap came out, and good morning. Daniel, see if you can send me to sleep. Okay. So yeah, it looks like we're getting some more freight routes on train symbol 2 at some point. They announced the Altoona Horseshoe, which is a part of the CSX line. There's another Union Pacific line will be added, which I think is pretty awesome. Of course, not everybody is going to be so celebratory, because a lot of people unfortunately find, well, not unfortunately, it is what it is, but a lot of people find the freight lines to be rather boring. They're not fast enough. You know, I was kind of thinking about this the other day after I read the roadmap, and you know, everybody was excited for LGV Mediterranean because it's a very fast route, right? But then what happens? Well, I don't like it because it's too fast. There's only one station. You know, people, what I'm starting to realize, and it kind of parlays into Microsoft Flight Simulator as well, is a lot of people are just generally, they're never satisfied with what they get, right? They, instead of saying, well, I should be thankful, yeah, things may not be 100% perfect, and they probably never will be, but I get to do this, and that's pretty awesome. So that a lot of people just need to well, chill out. You know, it's supposed to be something for enjoyment. The funny thing also is that a lot of these people who are going to decry the fact that we're getting 2 more freight routes in America, not 2 more passenger routes, right, are going to go into streamers, you know, whether it's Joe or anybody else for that matter, and talk about how boring this is and how dare somebody play this route, and what are they thinking. Well, if you don't like it, then why are you even there watching the stream? You know? So you know, I was kidding with Amila the other day, and I said, you know, you guys are going to catch, there's going to be a lot of hell to catch in the good morning, Mick. Yeah, I think it will be Pithers. I mean, the Horseshoe is not a very, you know, they can only go so fast along that area there. So anyway, as I was saying, they'll still go in and then fuss. Well, this is boring. Why would anybody do this? Why would anybody, you know? Well, then why are you even there? If you hate it so much, why are you even there talking down about it? So anyway, I don't know. I did see that I guess Brighton Main Line is going to be slightly delayed. There's going to be a bit more of a gap between us getting Riesa to Dresden tomorrow and the release of Brighton Main Line. So I'm guessing that's going to either be now at the end of the month, or it'll be early October. So I'm guessing they found some issues that they're trying to make sure that everything is as polished as possible, which I think is good, because Lord knows if they release something and then everybody's going to fuss that they released a broken product, I'd rather that they delay it and get it right as much as possible and not, you know, give us something that's going to take a gazillion patches to fix. You know, I was reading. So Mick, I messaged you I don't know if you got my message on Discord last night. I hadn't checked this. Oh, okay, good. So yeah, I just wanted to know what the how you found the new with the update. How did it work for you? I did do I did do a flight again from Newark Liberty to Cincinnati last night. And I took off, the sun was setting, it was a nice flight. Now, the interesting thing was that for the longest time, I was stuck at 18,000 feet. It never told me to go up to my cruising altitude. I had to ask for, say, can I go? So I compromised my cruising, I set it at 30,000. So what I did was I said, well, can I go to 25,000 feet? And they were like, yeah, okay, sure. And then, but I was cruising at 25,000, and then I start my descent into Cincinnati, and of course they go to 25,000. They did it a couple times, and by that time, it was a very quick approach into Cincinnati. But overall, this notion of people are like, I don't see the lights. I'm coming into Cincinnati, and I'm going over neighborhoods on the approach. Ooh, I'm speeding. Look at me. And I see nothing but lights. So I'm like, what lights are you not seeing? The airport was well lit. The whole area around it was well lit. I'm like, I don't know what lights or lack thereof they're talking about, but either their settings are all goofed up, or I don't know. Or I'm beginning to think that people are just going in and posting, oh, it's not working, it's crap, they lied to us again, they didn't fix this, or this, that, or the other. I kind of feel like it's more that they're not telling the truth, but we can't verify it either way. So I don't know. It's rather disappointing, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, I agree, Pithers. You do have to kind of, especially if you're going up these grades, these significant sort of, grades in the game. Yeah, you got to pay attention to that. Make sure you don't get any wheel slip, and watch your power and stuff like that. But for the most part, you're right. You put it in whatever notch, and away you go. Yeah, I agree, Mick. Now, there's a few things. Now, I did do a quick flight last night, also from there's two airports in Virginia that I flew from Roanoke to Danville, I think it was. It was like a 30-minute flight or whatever, right? I did that. Cane Creek is it's very scenic. Absolutely. In its own unique way, right? That's the great thing about it is, you can have a bit of a different sort of, versus, or sand patch grade, But anyway, so, as I was saying, now, there is some issues. I was able to get a flight done in the 172 with the Garmin. I found that with the update, or some things are not working as intended with that Garmin system. So I'm sure that's something they're going to have to patch. Hopefully that patch comes soon, because the autopilot and the nav work. It's just that the altitude, you don't get that little box that when you click on the altitude button, to either go up or down in altitude or select your cruise, like where you want the plane to be flying at for some time. It's not working, but I think we're going to get that fixed hopefully soon. So now that the update's out, that maybe we're waiting for that to come out before they could release the patch to change that so that those all systems all work. But otherwise, I was able to do it. It was a nice short 30-minute nighttime flight. The landing was a bit windy, even though I had turned off the live weather. My plane was getting blown to the right, so I had to kind of compensate after I fired the autopilot at the right time. But I was able to put the plane down and land it. But when I landed, there was nobody there to tell me where to park the aircraft, so I pulled the aircraft off the runway and then ended the flight there. But I think there is some really good improvements. I think with the forums, though, people are going in and just putting some really outlandish things in there that are not, if you ask for proof, like, well, can you give us screenshots that show that you don't have any lights? Because I think if you ask people to do that, they would say, well, I don't know how to do screenshots, and I don't know how to load it here, blah, blah, blah. They don't want to do the work to prove that what they're saying is true. And if it's true, then give people evidence to say, this is what I was seeing. What do you guys think? So I'm beginning to think a lot of people are just saying some really making outlandish claims, and they know they're making them, right? But they don't care, because they like to go in there and just stir up trouble in the forums. I reminded somebody the other day in the forums that they were fussing about how people saying that give Asobo more time, or Sobo, and that's just ridiculous. And I said, does it not occur to you that they released this game last year in the middle of a pandemic? And it's the same for Train Sim World 2. All this was done in the midst of a pandemic. So, if you don't have enough grace in your heart to say, well, it's not perfect, they're going to keep working at it, whatever, give them the time that they may need to sort things out, because they may still be working from home. And a lot of times that creates more problems than it does solve anything. So these folks need to, it's like the same folks who complain about, there's this Train Sim World 2 is not the game that we were promised, or whatever. They always come up with some ridiculous crap. So, anyway, that's that. That's my rant for now. I need to get on the brakes here. Otherwise, we're going to shoot right through Millbrae, and we don't want to do that. Players have been spoiled. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%, Vic. I mean, I'm thankful that I get to play. I get to enjoy this because it's my home route, And just for many other people, for a lot of people, it's going to be Brighton Mainline, or it's, possibly one of the German routes, or, a lot of people like Glasgow Cathcart Circle because they've either ridden on it or they've they lived there before and they used to ride it a long time ago, or so yeah, if you can't appreciate that connection, story time or a history lesson. Story time will be Saturday. No story time today, really. I was just kind of lamenting about the road map that came out yesterday. Some things, of course, we know we're getting Riza to Dresden tomorrow. I'm going to try to get up in the morning and get that downloaded. And we will do the training on there. We'll train on the trains. How about that? Most of which we should already kind of know. This is what I find interesting. Most passengers, as soon as you get off the train, you cross that yellow line and then you walk down. You don't stay right next to the train, because that's usually very dangerous. You cross over and then you walk, or then you walk to the stairwell or whatever. Oh, there's a jet there's a jet there. Going to, I guess, maybe lining up to land at San Francisco International, or just took off, or don't know. Oh, what, I gotta wait till Saturday? This is like days away. Yeah, it's not that far away. Yeah, so Saturday we're doing we're gonna be on Long Island Railroad, and then we are going to do a flight around New York City for 9/11. I'm hoping it's a nice chilled out stream. I don't want anybody to get political or anything like that. Just enjoy some sightseeing and all that. If you know people who died on 9/11, you can think about them, whatever. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to talk about where I was on that day, and I'm not going to talk about Afghanistan in general, what's happened recently there. I'm not going to get into all that. We're going to fly around the city. We're going to go out by Lady Liberty, and that's that. So, yeah, I want it to be a nice chilled stream. If you know people who were in New York and died, or that were in one of the planes that, whatever, by all means, you can, if you want to put their name in there, or, I remember my friend or family friend, whatever, or family member, you're more than welcome to do that if you want to. If not, that's perfectly fine. But I want it to be a nice, just, apolitical, whatever. Okay, so that's the chilled mate. I'm sure will only be a few of us. Yeah, probably only a few people will come in and watch, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I don't want, if people, people want to come in, like I said, people are more than welcome to. I do want it to be relaxed and all that. So hopefully that's what it will be. But we're going to do on Long Island Railroad, we're going to do Hicksville to New York Penn, and then we'll do the flight later. So there's something on the back. Itchy all of a sudden. Oh, look at me, he's speeding again. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so, but yeah, there's still lots that they've got going on, and I kind of was thinking also, because we, now that the game has been updated with the newer Unreal Engine, I kind of feel like, in one of the topics, of course, I'll be there, I'll more than likely just wake up by the time you stream. Oh, okay. That's cool. So we were talking about, I think, in our second flight yesterday after the roadmap came out. I know a lot of people, and I know Mick's one of them, has been wondering about what happened to the whole Steam Train thing in Train Sim World 2, and I kind of feel like, and I was hoping if Mela pops in, maybe we ask Mela to talk to maybe put a bug in Sam's ear or somebody's ear. I don't know what that looping sound. About talking about Steam again. I kind of feel like when they started the process of doing this core update, that a lot of things got kind of put on the back burner, and the Steam Trains being one of those things. Send my missus over to the Tesco garage to get me a Costa coffee Saturday morning. Well, that's okay, Pithers. I'm sure she'd be happy to do that for you. So I kind of feel like that's possibly where now we've kind of lost the talk about the Steam Trains. And now the preservation crews are going back through all the preserved collected routes that we got over the past year. And I kind of think that the Steam thing has kind of gone, they put it on the shelf for the time being while they sort out doing everything to bring more to what we already have. I mean, we're going to have over 30 routes going forward. And I kind of feel like it's a good possibility that we are not going to see a Train Sim World 3 or anything like that anytime soon, because I think they want to focus on, in a way, I feel like they're trying to learn their lessons about the new Unreal Engine. Cost me more than the price of coffee. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's the price of being married. Everything has a price, whether you like it or not. So I think that's where, hopefully, at some point, they'll bring Steam back into the conversation. Because as Mick said before, he got the game because there was this talk about Steam coming to Train Sim World 2. That's what, made him want to buy the game and play it. So I hope they don't forget that when they talked about that months ago, almost seemed like earlier this year at some point, before they started talking more about before we even heard about Rush Hour. So I don't really know. Won't be a perfect stop. That's right. I don't. I'm hoping they start talking about that again, because they need to. Otherwise, yeah, exactly, Mick. And I hope that they don't forget that there's people out there who, when they heard Steam, they were like, "Oh, I'm definitely buying this," in hopes that Steam is coming at some point soon. And when the focus, I think, when they decided to update the Unreal Engine and focus all the efforts to improving things what we already have, that's one of those things that kind of got put on the back burner, or that conversation was just dropped. And I think when they do that, for whatever reasons, it doesn't make people feel very confident in the future of the game sometimes. So if there was a point in a roadmap stream where Sam said, hey, I want to kind of update you on some things that we haven't put on the roadmap, but we need to talk about it because it was a topic that was brought up earlier in the year, and that's Steam. This is where we're at. We're still we're not even in the planning phase. We're still trying to sort out all the particulars. We're having discussions before we can put it into, moving it into the roadmap in general. I think that at least people would say, okay, at least they are talking about it. They're still having those conversations and trying to figure out how best to bring something like that to the game. I think that would at least acknowledge that they know it's a big deal to people. Somebody like Mick, for instance. And I don't think Mick's alone in that. I think a lot of people feel, or maybe slightly feeling a bit betrayed that why would if I'm investing in the game and you're not giving me something that you said that you were going to, this is something that you wanted to bring. Now, if you can't bring it, if you're like, we've looked at our options, we've tried different processes to see what we could do, it's just not going to work right now, we need more time, something, at least acknowledge it. Because the more you don't acknowledge it, the more it just seems like you just gave up on it. And I hope that's not the case. But I think if we are going to be honest about it, though, Steam is a very complex system. How do you turn a complex system into something that a player on a console with a controller, whether it's on the PlayStation or the Xbox, how can they control those complex systems? You've seen pictures, I think even the video like I did at the live stream I did at the museum there in Roanoke, when we looked inside that cab, the engineer's area for that huge steam locomotive, all those dials and gauges and switches, it's a lot of stuff. And how can you make something that complex into something that you can do fairly well in a game? I think that's the big challenge. And the truth may be, it may not be possible. I hope that's not the case, but it very well may be that it's going to be overly complex, and I think a lot of people would just go like, it sounded good, but I can't. It's like the people who tried San Patrick one time, couldn't get the locomotive moving because they didn't do the tutorial and they gave up on it. And then they come into somebody's stream and go like, that route sucks, it's too much, it's too complicated. Because they can't be bothered to put in the work to learn the system. They don't want to figure it out or go back and do the tutorial and go like, oh, that's what I missed. I didn't hit that little button down there on the lower left side that turn on the generator or whatever. Oops. Oh, I didn't put the brake system on correctly. Oops. So I think that's something that is very, knowing the player base in this game, that's something that's going to happen. If they bring Steam, it's going to be a bit complicated, I think, because that's just the way it's going to be. And then you're going to have people who are going to say, oh, I thought it was going to be super easy, and oh, there's all the... And then they're going to go in there and crap all over Dovetail Games for putting out something that everybody, I think most people want to experience. You know? So, I don't know. Redwood City, climate best by government test. You know it. Yeah, I think they need to have those, but they need to have those conversations. They need to bring it up. Whether it's to say, you know, we're still in the discussion phase, or we're still in the whatever. At least give people some sense of where you're at on it. If it's like. If it's even the conversation is, you know, we can't make it happen. We've tried, you know, we've run some mock-ups and we can't get it to work the way we would hoped it would. And maybe we're just going to have to go back to the drawing board or, you know, something. Because then I think people would feel a little bit better about it. We'll see. But I'm excited because it seems like we are getting more in this game than we probably bargained for at this point. Which I think is a good thing. I'm going to stop a little bit short, of course. That's fine. So, yeah, I'm still excited. I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, we're going to like I said, I'm going to get up at tomorrow morning, download the Riesa to Dresden route, and then we're going to do the familiarization with the route, and then do the training scenario stuff, and then that'll be it for that, and then we'll go flying again. Today, we are going from... what was it called? That little island airport that I flew to yesterday after the update. And then we're going to fly down towards Hamburg, Germany. And then after we do that, because that shouldn't take very long to do, we're going to do one of the landing scenarios. So that should be fun, and and then we'll wrap that up for the day. And so tomorrow, Riesa to Dresden, and then we'll fly from that airport near Hamburg. We'll go towards, I think I was looking, which way did I? We'll look when we get into Flight Sim later on. How about that? Palo Alto is next. We got Palo Alto, Mountain View, and then right on into San Jose. And we'll be wrapping up this stream. So I'm glad this worked out better today. I guess that one service that the sound kept cutting out was a glitch service. I'd meant to actually get on the forums and put in a trouble ticket. I got to do that also at some point, just to let them know that service is unplayable, basically. That it does cause a dramatic loss of sound. So, yeah. So hopefully whoever wants will be joining us on that nice flight later this morning at 9 o'clock. So it looks like we'll probably, Probably have about an hour and a half, maybe an hour 20-minute break between the time we end here and the time we go flying, which is fine. It's perfect. So, yeah, good stuff. Finish up my coffee. So, hopefully everybody's enjoyed things so far. I do encourage, if you haven't read it, or if you want to know more about what was said in the well, there was a live stream last night. It was only about an hour long, which I thought I was surprised. I thought maybe it would be closer to 2, but I guess they don't have anything majorly significant to tell anybody. But if you go to the Dovetail Games website, they do have the roadmap is up there, and you can just kind of read through it yourself and get an idea of what's going on. I always like sitting up here in these chairs. They're not the most comfortable, I'm not gonna lie. They're okay, but I wish they were just a bit more comfortable. I was talking about something in Flight Sim on Sunday. We were going to do something. What is it? I forgot now. I have to go back and look at the. Somebody asked me if we could do something, and I said, yeah, we can do that on Sunday. I know I promised Ryan that I was going to do a flight around London. I guess we could do that on Sunday, maybe. I know I promised something else, but I can't remember what it is now. Or not promised, but said that we were going to do something on Sunday. I can't remember what it is now. Love this station. Fly around London is bloody horrible. Well, he asked me if I would do that at some point, kind of just fly around. I would like to do that. You know, people can talk about their memories of London if they've ever lived there or been there for any amount of time, or you know, when they go, this is like their favorite spot, or you know. So I like Okay. But I think it was either when I did the long flight across the water towards Estjerd yesterday, or from Estjerd to that little airport. I know somebody recently asked if I would do something, and I said, yeah, I can do that. It would be something I would do on Sunday. I should have make sure the plane is bulletproof. No, I don't think we have to worry about that in a simulator. It's not DCS where you got air combat stuff. No, we're fine. I wish I need to start writing this stuff down because my memory is just terrible, it seems, to be honest. So maybe I just have to go through and try to find, because I think whoever mentioned it put it in the chat. And I said, yeah, we can do that on Sunday. So no, Bruce. I am not. That's too much. No, I know there's people who are doing it or kind of breaking it up into segments, but that would take an enormous amount of time, and I don't to stream something like that. I mean, I could do it, but that's a very, yeah, no. I'm not staying up for 24 hours or whatever it would take to do it. No, that's not possible. And I try to do flights within a reasonable amount of time, because otherwise I feel like this is a lesson that I kind of learned in radio production class. You try to do something that keeps people's interest to the point that they're not going to get bored and leave the stream or your radio program or whatever the case may be. Because otherwise, like when Joe did the 8 hours on Cathcart Circle, right? Did the 8 hours of services like a normal train operator would on that route. It's exciting, but it's also like, okay, most people will probably watch like the first hour or so maybe, but after that they're gonna be like, okay, there's lots of things I'd like to do, but at the same time it's kind of like I have to think about the logistics of it. Like there's people who do these like 8-hour long streams and all that. I mean, I could do that, but it's just, but I also am wary of it because a lot of times people, they're like, oh yeah, I'll be there, and they're there for like the first 30 minutes and then they're gone, and then the chat's dead and that's it. So I am very, asking for things like that. I'm a bit leery about it because it's, people can get excited about it for one moment, and then when it really happens, they're like, okay, this isn't as exciting as I thought it would be. So, I mean, I could do, I could break it up, but, I don't know. But I know somebody asked me, and I said Sunday I would do it, but I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was London, I don't know. I have to go back and look and see, because if it's something I can, and I know it was something reasonable. I've got a pad of paper with me. I'm going to have to start, like I said, when somebody makes a suggestion that I think I can do, I can write it down right away and say, yeah, put that on the schedule for Sunday or whatever day. So is it a jet liner tree? I know Bex asked about something. I don't know. Like I said, my memory is just... My short-term memory, a lot of times I'm like, I know... But sometimes I wake up and I'm like, okay, what route did I say I'm going to do today? And I have to think about it. I'm like, crap, I don't remember. And then all of a sudden it'll dawn on me like, oh yeah, I said we were going to do this. So anyways, I'm going to have to do a bit of research for sure. Somebody's been watching on Twitch this entire time but hasn't said anything in the chat. So I don't know what's going on. Somebody's lurking in the Twitch. If you're whoever's watching on Twitch, feel free to say hi in the Twitch chat. Greatly appreciate it. Alright, here we are, Mountain View. Next stop will be San Jose. You have to get I do have one. What I used to do when I was doing like the two train sim streams, like we'd do 2 routes in the morning and then 2 routes in the afternoon, or 1 route in the morning, 1 route in the afternoon, like American Route Monday, for instance. We'd start off on Peninsula Corridor on the Monday, and then Monday morning, and then later in the day we would go on Long Island Railroad or something like that, for instance. I'd write them down on a little note card, like on a 3x5 card, so that I knew, so I kind of planned it ahead, try to mix things up a bit. So yeah, I was thinking about it, and I know somebody had said something, and I know in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, I can do that on Sunday. And I kind of think it was something that Bex asked for. I think. But I don't remember. And I feel kind of bad about that, because my mind is not what it used to be sometimes, it feels like. So, I don't know. We're going to go to this Via Point, which looks like that is right there. I guess they added that in just to get a few more points thrown in, since we didn't have a lot of stops along the way. Get us closer to our gold medal, hopefully. I think we're going to be okay. We should be fine for a gold medal. We've been on time. We've gotten all of our passengers. Our stops have been fairly good. overall. Not a lot, we haven't gone too far past things to the point that we lost a lot of points, but yeah. So if anybody can, please do leave a thumbs up. I do greatly appreciate it. I do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out this morning. Finally nice to get the service done after yesterday's hiccups. I think Friday will be on Oakville subdivision. We'll do a service one way and then back again. So, however we're going to do that, we'll do two services real quick, and then we'll go flying again, and then we'll be back. So that's pretty much it for through Saturday at least. Sunday we'll do I don't know, we'll figure out Sundays. Well, you know what? Well, let me find out. So Sunday we'll do a British route, I think, for Sunday, and then if in fact our flight is somewhere over the UK on Sunday as well, then it'll be a UK day on Sunday. How about that? I think it was. But yeah, we'll see. Once I get once I look at what was asked for, unless Mick can ask Bex and then message it to me or something, because I think she was the one that asked for something in particular. If not, then we'll go with Ryan and the flying around London, so that we could do like the Great Western Expressway, go into London, Paddington, and then do a fly around London or something like that, maybe. If Mick's still in the chat, I think he is. If you could ask your sister what did she want as far as a flight sim goes, and I think she asked for it, and I said it was something we could do on Sunday. That would save me a lot of time too. You can just send it to me in Discord Messenger. Almost to San Jose. You know, I don't know why, but maybe because in some of the German routes, we get these, you get like a double train. This doesn't seem like a very long train. 1, 2, 3, 5 passenger cars. That doesn't seem like a lot, especially for a morning service. I feel like there's got to be, it would be like 7 or 8 cars for morning. Ooh, I am going to be speeding significantly here. I totally was not paying attention. Wow, that was terrible of me. Gee whiz, that was bad. I saw the 40 coming up too, and I knew it was coming, and I just totally blinked on it. Oh, God. There's our maintenance facility. Let's see. Wow, the maintenance yard is empty. Normally there's at least... That seems rather odd. We don't even see the MP15s or anything. That seems strange. Alright. Almost to our platform there. Let's see, let me take a look real quick and see where we're going into. Looks like right there. Perfect. Alright, let's check. Let's see. Hello, Amilla. Here just in time for us to end our morning stream. How are you? So yeah, it'll be about an hour and a half or so, or probably about an hour and 20 minutes. We'll be on Flight Simulator. I'm okay, thanks. Just trying to figure out something that I said we could do on Sunday and for a flight, and I can't remember what it is, and so kind of pulling what little bit of hair I have out, trying to remember what it is. So I think Bex was the one that asked if I could do something, and I said yes, but I don't remember what it was. So I asked Mick if he could ask her real quick or message it to me on Discord. But I don't know if he's here or if he's lurking again, or he may be dealing with the kids now. They might have gotten home, or I don't know. Anyway, we are more than on time here. I have to say this is modeled fairly well, I think, for the looks and everything. Yeah, the station and everything looks good. I kind of feel like over there it looks like, I wonder if that's part of the light rail system over there. Might be. Oh, there's Bick, speak of the devil. Anyways, alright, how did we do? I think Peninsula Corridor is now my highest route for my driver, I think. Anyway, that's going to be it. I will see you all at 9 o'clock on Flight Sim. We'll do that flight in the Beechcraft King Air. We know it works. It's still working, so we're going to keep going with what we know works. So anyway, I will see you all then.